Okay, I'm going to record an initial assessment for LaTeX. I thought a good way to do this might be on my portfolio, I show a picture. Ooh, all right, my sites went away. But on my portfolio, I show a picture of a proof that I did last semester for my geometry class. And I explained how the solution was cleaner, it was more accessible, it was more rigorous when I used it in LaTeX versus when I hand wrote it. So I thought it would be interesting to see if I could write this proof again, like 6 months later. And we can sort of, I guess, center the portfolio around this problem here as an assessment of my skill. I have a few doubts that I'll be able to do this. Yeah. So I'm going to open up a new LaTeX document. Cool. So whenever you do LaTeX, it automatically creates this header for you. I am currently learning how to make this header smaller because as you can see, like in this document preview, it takes up like a third of the page. And honestly, like nobody wants that. My name and the title of this assignment should really not be that big, ideally. Today, I think it's the 17th. It might be the 18th by now. All right. Section. So here, what I had done is written this proof using a subsection, which is just a little bit smaller. And then this asterisk here is so that it won't number, and I can assign numbering myself. This is a pretty inefficient way to do this. I've since learned how to create a numbered list. And then it automatically does that, so I don't have to keep track of like, am I on ABC? But last semester me, come on, we'll do that. Let's see. So whenever you compile the document, you can see whether, and that looks like it's correct. All right. So I'm just copying this proof like word for word. Part of this is to see how long it takes me. Part of it is to see whether I remember all the commands. So we'll do a new line. Enclosing something in dollar signs puts it in math mode. So in the case of just writing a single letter or a word, it italicizes it, which is often just used for clarity in math textbooks. So overline is how you get this one-ended arrow. And I'm using that to denote array, which is just mathematical, you know, there's a definition for it. So far, I feel like this is pretty easy. Really, it's like repeating the same commands over and over, like this overline for the array. happens all the time. Oh boy. Now I'm getting confused because I think I was doing overline and that gives me an entire line and I want an arrow. Okay, so the command for that is override arrow. Although it's giving me an error, which I think just means it doesn't like that I haven't finished my thought down there. Okay, so my first mix up here is like what the command was actually called. And part of my goal with exploring LaTeX is creating like a singular list of all the elements so that I can reference them. It might be a good way to integrate that with sheets because then I can use like a search function and be like, I want to know what the symbol for array is. And then it can tell me. Because part of it is like, you can Google this, but then you have to like hunt around on the website and it's just not super efficient. At least for me, I personally do not enjoy going on a wild goose chase every time I can't remember a symbol. This is somewhat related to ed tech, but I always do caps lock instead of shift when I want to capitalize the beginning of a word. And I know that that is a super inefficient way to type. So one of my low-key goals for this class is to like quit doing that. Definitely, it's just very inefficient. I will say I'm not going to try to put the same picture in here. I guess I could. I could upload one from GeoGebra. I definitely don't want to construct this in GeoGebra again. I remember when I was writing this proof, the reason I didn't do like the double arrow over L, which is the name of my line, is because it like completely dwarfed the L and you couldn't read it. And that is something I'm interested in exploring, like whether you can resize elements or not. So that doesn't happen and like render the text unreadable. And I don't know if there just wasn't, it's been like 6 months since I've taken geometry. I don't remember if there's not a convention for segments or if I just didn't know how to write a symbol over like the names of these segments here to indicate that they're actually segments. Again, I would say this is not super difficult right now. But there's every time I learn a new math, there's like a learning curve for me. Like with geometry, I didn't know and so like we use matrices and systems of equations and set notation. And it's like I am having to Google every time I write my homework because I don't know how to do those in LaTeX. I guess there isn't like a reasonable way for me to learn all of that, but I still think like a catalog of functions could be super helpful because I've definitely used like set notation in my previous math classes. I just don't remember it very well. The last line here. Okay. Get rid of that. Press compile and then it all shows up. This is also how I check for errors, mostly like errors in the typing. It's just scanning it and making sure like, are all the letters italicized? Is there a line over everything that should have a line? Okay, this error here is because whenever you use the math mode, you need to import packages, which are used like to typeset some of these math symbols. So AMS math, AMS are the two standard ones I do. And then that fixed my error so I can display this box. I guess it doesn't like this. Cool. Okay. I lied. I will try and make that picture in GeoGebra and then upload it into this document. I don't want those. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is get rid of these grid lines because nobody wants to see those. For a picture like this, it does not matter where these points are, so we want to get rid of them. Tools, we'll draw a point, A, B down there, C, D, and E. All right, looks like we need some lines now. Okay, so we construct, these are really segments, to be honest. This one should be okay, so A to B is a line. Then we have a line through C and E. A line through A and C. And D should be on this line. So I need to do some moving around here. Okay. Actually, I believe D should be the midpoint of this line, which means I need to add it separately. Okay. So we'll go to tools and then construct and midpoint. Oh no, that was a mistake. Okay. I got the midpoint of the wrong line here. Okay, so construct, and then you choose the 2 points. Okay, that's the midpoint of that line. That's segment CE. And then I think the same thing should be true here. So we're going to construct the midpoint of AB. We're going to delete E. Rename this E. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're going to create our lines again through CE. This is really not super precise because I don't actually quite remember the contents of this proof. So this picture looks like this one on the right, but it might not mathematically be the same thing. For this purpose, I think it's okay. Okay, I need to construct a perpendicular bisector. A. Well, first I need to construct a line between these. We're going to construct a perpendicular bisector of A and of C and E, I guess. Or is it, I guess it's an angle bisector. Okay. Cool. Now we want to measure these angles so we can get those little degrees on them. And then finally, the last thing we wanted to do is see if we can add those little congruency lines. Also, we don't want to display this angle. To do that, we just turn off the label. So style for decoration, decoration is how we add these congruency markings. Right. What else do I need to do? Congruency markings on the line. I think I have to create segments and then add the markings to those. Okay. And then we need C, D, and D. Again, we want to get rid of like all these little letters because they're really clouding things up. So we don't want to show the label, and then style, we'll do the double congruency. The last one is the CA segment. Okay. Okay, again, like just to clean things up, I'm going to turn these labels off for these larger lines. And then F, H, and G. Okay. I guess the last thing would be to change the color of these points. It's one of these blues. Maybe that. One feature I don't like of GeoGebra is that like it doesn't tell you which one you're already using or what the default is, which is why I'm playing the guessing game right now. Maybe it's this. I don't know. I know how to change color. Ah, there we go. Okay, cool. Let's get rid of this. I could either screenshot this or like export the picture. I'm just going to screenshot and then we'll go over here and crop it. And we'll upload this to in the LaTeX and be done. All right, so to do that, we go over here and upload from my photo library. Oh gosh, that's the wrong way. Okay, so to do pictures, we need to use another package, which is GraphicX. And this picture was right here. So we begin an environment which tells LaTeX like, hey, you're about to see a picture. And it automatically centers it, include graphics. You just start like typing the name of the picture file. And then it pops up. The caption was like, what? Figure 2, angle bisector. Okay. So there's two problems here. Number one, it's huge. And number two, we want it to come immediately before the text. So we go with an H, which tells LaTeX, put it right here. And then do text width equals 0.5 to make it smaller. Okay, I'm gonna go. This is me Googling. Because I don't remember how to. Look, I don't remember where this came in the command. So include graphics, the brackets come before. Okay. So width equals 0.5. Close brackets. Maybe that works. Yeah. And then we are done with that proof.